This is my winning lap from the 2022 Bear Canyon Challenge on my 2021 GasGas EX350F, which, if you're unaware, is essentially a KTM 350XCF. So my buddy Shannen set up this challenge. Me and all my riding buddies actually just met Shannen last year, and he was just getting really into the sport. He was on an old Yamaha 4-stroke, and then right after we met him, he got a brand new 2022 KTM 300XC. And this dude went from a beginner rider to just absolutely shredding on a dirt bike, way faster than I've ever seen anyone progress. So he absolutely loves this trail, and it's one of the trails he's the best at, and he just loves coming out here on a regular basis. So he set up this challenge with a start date of July 20th and an end date of August 12th. The trail itself is a lollipop with about a 3-mile stick and then a 12-mile loop, and he set the challenge up to where you just ride the stick to kind of get in your flow and start getting ready for your lap, and then it starts at the intersection. So the challenge was tracked on Strava as e-bikes because they don't have a dirt bike option, so we are just crushing the e-bike leaderboards. The rules were that you have to stay on the trail, and this one got a little interesting throughout the course of the event. The rule says, gotta open your own gate on track, please close it after. If it's open already, then it's your lucky day. You're going to see later in this lap that there is a gate that is often closed for cattle. As the challenge went on, this started to get a little bit competitive, so sometimes we would plan to go out with a homie. Within the rules, gotta open your own gate on track. Whoever went first would open the gate, if it wasn't already open. And then in parentheses it says, please close it after. The entire purpose of this rule was to not anger any ranchers or cattle owners on the land. So we didn't really want the gate to be that big of a factor. Really opening and closing the gate, realistically, probably takes around 20 seconds. So anyway, as the challenge went on, we would start to have one person open it and then one person close it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But the next rule was, gotta crack a cold one at the truck, which, when the text was first sent out, was a really easy rule to overlook. Because, yeah, of course you think you might be going to do a ride in the evening, finish off the day, but what if you want to go put a 6:30 a.m. heater in? I mean, this was one of the rules. We had to oblige or this wasn't a valid lap. And then the final two rules, the loop is left to right. You couldn't ride it right to left. We all rode it the same direction for every lap. This was not only to be safe in case anyone else was putting down a heater, but just to keep it consistent. And then finally, $5 buy-in. Nothing major, just a nice beer for the homie if he wins. In addition to that, the slowest two guys have to do stand-up comedy at the comedy club in town, and the winner not only gets the pot, but gets his dinner and drinks paid for at the comedy club. Still waiting on that one from the boys. So, along with this introductory text to the group of riders Shannen had chosen to be part of the challenge, he sent, here's an example, with a Strava link of his first Bear Canyon lap with a time of 29:28. And Teddy said, damn, under 30 minutes already? Shannen then sent another lap before the challenge had officially started of 28:31. I didn't realize that the challenge hadn't started yet after he sent that sample, so I went out and said, you know what, I'm going to put down a heater. And I brought the GasGas out there and I put down a time of 28:20, which was the current fastest time. Times continued to trickle in. Reed sent in a time of 29:57 and said, I would have waxed both of you boys if I didn't get stuck behind a razor for a solid half mile. Also, that gate sucks balls. Took me a solid minute to close it. Gotta get quicker with that gate, Reed. Monty then comes in hot with his first lap of the challenge at a 27:18 and says new P1 courtesy of Hillbilly Mo with this sick selfie in a cutoff flannel. Monty is fast as hell and only brings it out when he really wants to. There have been times where we've been trail riding together and I'm like, come on Monty, man, let's go. You're a little faster than this, I think. And then there will be times where Monty just turns it on and I, the trail guy, am just twisting that thing as far as I can for as long as I can to try and keep his dust in sight. Monty is an impressive man on a dirt bike. The dude weighs like $125 and just shreds a 450. So anyway, he sends in this lap that's now over a minute faster than anyone else's, and I'm a little impressed. Jackson, who is brand new to dirt biking and just got a CRF 250, decides to take part in the challenge and puts down a respectable 39:30. And then Shannen comes along and sends a 26:50 to the group. And I'm like, what? Monty just laid down the absolute heater of the challenge, and then Shannen comes in and beats him by 30 seconds. Shannen, the dude who just got good at riding dirt bikes, was not expecting that. From there's a lot of banter in the group chat about people questioning Shannen's time and Shannen being a little hurt at the fact that none of us believe he's that fast. I'm just going to put it out there for the record that I believed Shannen. I didn't doubt it. I was just like, wow, that is incredible. So then Levi comes out with his first 450 hot lap with a 27.1. Levi also said that the gate was sitting down in the dirt and not latched. He said there's plenty of others that ride it, but make sure to latch it back up. And he said a couple of us are going to fix the lag bolts and throw a new clip on it so it's at least decent. I want to put it out there for the record that Levi never fixed the gate. This challenge ended and the gate was still a total pile. Luke comes in and submits a lap of 30.53, and then Jackson goes for another one and drops 5 minutes off of his time with a submission of 34.36, which is pretty awesome. Teddy finally submits a lap of 29.38 and says, I could probably shave off a minute without almost dying to a side-by-side, the sun in my eyes, and dropping my phone when I took it out to stop the time. Monty then comes out swinging on August 8th, which is the week the challenge ends. He hits us with a 25.44, which is a minute and 2 seconds faster than the fastest time. But there is a small discrepancy because there is a slight gap in the map. He did not start Strava at the right time. He said it didn't start right away, so me and Levi think I gotta add like 15 seconds to be fair. So we're calling Monty's a 26.01 at this point, which is still insanely fast. At this point, I'm like, what? I put in my one lap of 28.30 where I thought I was going pretty fast, and I'm like, there's no way that I can go that fast on this trail. That said, I really hadn't stopped to consider that that was only my second Bear Canyon lap of the season, and I didn't know the trail that well when I put in my 28.30. Evil Knievel's grandson Jesse hops in the chat and he's like, you punk ass kids need to slow down, where this man, if he were not in Alaska, would be on a level of his own. So Levi goes back for redemption to try and beat Monty's time on his CRF 450, but the dude forgot to put enough gas in his bike to go 15 miles. So he runs out of gas with a couple miles left on the course, and we'll never know what that time would have been. So then I say, you know what? I wasn't that fast. I got a 28.30 on the GasGas. Maybe I should try out my RM 125. There are some tighter corners on this trail that I figured maybe I'd actually be faster on the 125. So I brought the 125 out and put down a 26.51, which was 1 second behind Shannen. Now with my first hot lap on the 125, I actually bogged going up what we call a horsepower hill. I was wide open for so long that the float height was just a little bit off, so the bike was bogging all the way up that hill, which is a pretty sustained stretch of the trail. So I brought the 125 home that night, adjusted the float level, and then brought it back out to see how much time I could gain by not losing that momentum up horsepower hill. That same night, Reed and I were riding together, doing the old gate trick together, and Reed put down a 28.4. The following day, before I even have the chance to get out there and beat Shannen again, Shannen drops a 26.23 in the group chat, which shaved another 30 seconds off of his best lap, and at this point was only 20 seconds behind Monty. Shannen is sitting in second place. I go out the following day, again on the RM, thinking I'm going to be fastest on that bike, and put down a 26.44, riding what I thought was nearly a flawless lap. When I realized I only shaved 6 seconds riding about as fast as I could, I knew that I had to bring out the GasGas for the next lap. The next day, Levi drops a 26.39. I want to note that about this point in the challenge, Levi said, Shannen will not beat me. Very seriously. Shay was sitting there when Levi said that because we were literally filming 3 Bikes, 1 Bear, and Shay said, I am very attracted to how competitive you are. So go Shay and Levi. Time is flying by, and all of a sudden it's Friday, August 12th. Shannen's done like 20 Bear Canyon laps. I have put in 3. 1 lap on the GasGas and 2 on the RM 125. So Levi says, let's go out Friday morning, final day of the challenge, and go put down a couple laps. So Levi does his first lap of the day on his RM 125 and puts down a 25.59. taking the spot as the new leader and beating my time on a 125 by 45 seconds. And I thought I was going as fast as you could go on an RM 125 on this trail. So I have to give props to Levi for being an absolute animal on that bike. I've never seen anyone go as fast on a 125 as Levi can. I mean, he is a little small, but you know, he's still pretty quick. I come around after that lap on my GasGas, having no idea what my time is at. You can see my phone is literally duct taped to my bar pad for the quick access of starting and stopping Strava, but it's not like I can actually look down and read anything while I'm riding. So I literally ride the entire trail with no idea what my time is until I look down when I hit stop. I was stoked to find that I hit a 25:37. I was honestly really surprised. I did not realize that I was going to be that much faster on my GasGas. So Levi and I are out there, and he just did a lap on his RM125, and I said, dude, do you think you can go any faster on that bike? And he said, no. I said, dude, go get your 450. You are going to be faster on that bike. Looking at my switch from the 125 to the 350 and looking at Monty's times on the 450, I said, you have to go put a lap in on your 450. So on our first lap, my buddy Billy came along, who's fairly new to off-road and was riding a DRZ 400S, but was stoked to be out there riding. So we told him we were doing the challenge and said, hey, would you mind closing the gate behind us? And he's never ridden this trail. So we come around after the first lap and Billy says, hey, yeah, I closed that huge gate. And I'm like, huge gate? Levi's like, did you just close it with the wire? He's like, no, I closed it with the chain. And I'm like, oh. In my head thinking, I can't think of where another gate is, but that had to be the wrong gate. So anyway, Levi goes to the truck and grabs his 450 and takes off for lap number 2. And I take off 2 or 3 minutes after him for second lap on my GasGas. Now about halfway through the course, I see Levi stopped at this huge green gate that I never really realized was there because it's never closed, and realized that Billy had closed the wrong gate. So with that said, I knew that the gate up here was going to be open, and I was going to be able to get another lap in with the gate open, and that Levi was behind me to close it. So I kept in my flow and just hauled through the gate this time around. Now, I will say on my 25:37 lap, I had arm pump, I was breathing heavily, I was really focusing on trying to ride well. This lap you're watching right now, I found my flow. I had a couple small mistakes, but overall I was literally just flowing this entire time. I was certainly going as fast as I could, but it didn't really feel that hard, and I love that feeling on a dirt bike. That is one of the greatest feelings you can ever experience riding one of these things. I mean, getting into dirt bikes is awesome enough, but really learning to flow on one is just epic. So this lap, I really, again, made a couple small mistakes, but overall felt like I could do no wrong and was just on top of the world. That said, I still didn't know if I was going to beat my previous time because that last lap was a heater and I was a little tired from putting that one down. But I came in at the end of this one with a time of 25:15. I beat my own time by another 22 seconds, which I was just ecstatic about. I did feel a little bad at the end, thinking, man, maybe I should have closed the gate to really make this as fair as possible. Reed sent that text saying the gate took him a minute. I like to think that I could have done the gate in, 30 seconds max if I had to both open and close, which still would have left me in the top spot, so I feel okay about it. But you guys can comment below if you think this is a totally fair winning lap, given I didn't open or close the gate. So that's been the only thing playing in my head, but overall, I'm just super proud of myself for putting down that lap. As these times kept coming in through the chat, I just honestly didn't think I could do it. I was thinking, man, these guys are just that much faster than me and I need to pick up my game. But I really went out with that race mentality and was really in the zone and got it done. And this was a super fun challenge, and it made a trail that I've never thought that highly of really amazing. I've always thought, Bear Canyon's just kind of slow 2-track. You go out for a quick little evening ride. It's a nice, enjoyable ride. But bringing a trail to race pace and pushing on it makes it an entirely different experience. And I had so much fun with this challenge, and this is something I never would have done. Gone to Bear Canyon to see how fast I could go. So huge thanks to Shannen for getting everyone involved in this challenge. It was an absolutely amazing time. I am stoked to go downtown and hit the comedy show with the homies. That said, we'll see if the Bear Canyon Challenge happens in 2023. I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to this story, and I hope you enjoy watching the final few minutes of this lap.
Let's go. Yes.